I'm attempting to answer a question here. The question is, what are homothetic preferences? कौन सी ऐसी preferences होती हैं जिनको हम homothetic बोलते हैं? What is the meaning of homothetic? Mind you, I want to say it is not monotonic. Monotonic तो हमने पहले करा था in the last chapter, wherein we spoke about ranking and we spoke about changing the number next to an IC, है ना? जब हमने बोला था ना U अगर 2 हो या 20 उससे फर्क नहीं पड़ता. That was monotonic. Homotheticity is a different thing. Homothetic preferences जो हम बोलते हैं, that is a different thing. You see, before I come to homothetic preferences, I'll talk about one thing. जब हम income increase करते हैं, let's say I increase my income by 100%, which means I'm doubling my income. I'm doubling income. तो उसका impact कैसे पड़ सकता है? There can be three ways that can have an impact. One is when I double my income, my consumption or my quantity also doubles. Second is it more than doubles. And third is it less than doubles. When doubling income leads to a doubling of consumption, those preferences are called homothetic. When it more than doubles, then that good is called a luxury good. When it doubles but less than doubles, then that good is called a necessity good. So जब हम अपनी इनकम को एक सर्टेन प्रोपोर्शन से इंक्रीज करते हैं, उस सर्टेन प्रोपोर्शन ऑफ इंक्रीज इन इनकम की वजह से जब मेरे पास अपने गुड के अंदर मोर देन दैट प्रोपोर्शनेट इंक्रीज ऑफ कंजम्पशन आता है तो उसको हम लग्जरी गुड बोलते हैं. लेस देन दैट प्रोपोर्शनेट इंक्रीज ऑफ इनकम आता है तो उसको हम नेसेसिटी गुड बोलते हैं. अगर सेम रेशो में हमारा गुड इंक्रीज करता है तो उसको हम होमोथेटिक बोलते हैं. Actually, if you look at it, homothetic is as simple as that. But let's take it from the diagrammatic point of view. So initially I'm at AB. मैंने इनकम को let's say 10% से बढ़ाया तो I came to A1, B1. मैंने इनकम को further 10% से बढ़ाया तो I come to A2, B2. Homothetic preferences are those in which my income of a curve is a straight line. That can be here, it can be here, it can be here, or it can be anywhere. It just has to be income of a curve has to be a straight line. Income of a curve has to be a straight line. And when income of a curve is a straight line, then angel curve will also be a straight line. And if you look at it, if you look at all the curves that we have drawn so far, all the Cobb-Douglases, the perfect substitutes, the perfect complements are all homothetic in nature. You don't trust me? You can actually go and check the functions. You can actually go and check the functions. If at a certain income you're consuming a combination of X and Y, when you increase the income by T, then the consumption of X and Y will also increase by T. It is true for Cobb-Douglases, it is true for perfect substitutes, it is true for perfect complements. It is, however, not true for quasi-linear. So if I ask you to give me an example of a utility function which is non-homothetic, you should make a function which is quasi-linear. ओके अगर मैं आपको बोलूँ ना गिव मी एन एग्जांपल ऑफ अ फंक्शन जो होमोथेटिक नहीं है, आप किसका एग्जांपल देंगे? क्वाज़ी लीनियर का. यू नो दिस पॉइंट इज बेटर अंडरस्टूड थ्रू अ न्यूमेरिकल एग्जांपल. सो लेट्स डू दैट. u is equal to xy subject to 2x plus 3y is equal to 600. Equilibrium condition is MRS is equal to the price ratio, right? MRS is equal to the price ratio. Since हम homotheticity की बात कर रहे हैं, which is related to income of a curve, I will take it as M. So y by x is equal to 2 by 3. So y is equal to 2 by 3x. So 2x plus 3y. 3y को can I write 2 by 3x? Yes. Is equal to M. So that is x is equal to M by 4 and y is equal to 2m by 3, 2m by 3 into 4, which is m by 6. which is m by 6. So 1/4 of my income always goes into, so my x is always m by 4, not 1/4 of my income, sorry. X is always m by 4 and y is always m by 6. So if today instead of m I say my income is 2m, then x becomes 2m by 4 and y becomes 2m by 6 and so on and so forth, which means that जिस proportion में मेरा m change हो रहा है उसी proportion में मेरा x and y भी change हो रहा है, which is what we spoke about homotheticity. Homotheticity means कि जो हमारा जिस proportion में हमारा income change होता है उसी proportion में हमारा consumption भी change होता है. This is true for Cobb-Douglas. This is true for perfect substitutes. This is also true for perfect complements. I will take another example for perfect substitutes. Perfect substitutes में क्या होता है? Either x1 is m by p1 and x2 is 0, and it's vice versa. x1 is 0 and x2 is m by p1. अगर आप p2 सॉरी, अगर आप ये वाला केस लो तो जैसे जैसे आप m को इंक्रीज करोगे वैसे वैसे ही x1 बढ़ेगा. Similarly here, which means कि ये भी homothetic है. If m doubles, x1 doubles. If m triples, x1 triples. So on and so forth. आप similar example perfect complement का लेके अपने आप भी solve कर सकते हो to prove this point, but you will still get the same answer. The only thing I'm trying to say is, जो अगर आपको कोई पूछे what are the examples of homothetic preferences, you can write any example of a Cobb-Douglas utility function, perfect substitute utility function, or a perfect complement utility function. The only utility functions that we have studied so far, which is not homothetic, is quasi-linear utility function. Apart from quasi-linear utility function, all the utility functions that we have studied which fall under the umbrella of Cobb-Douglas, perfect substitutes and perfect complements are all homothetic. Alright? So that's all there is in homothetic. We do not study it with respect to price because homotheticity is not studied with respect to price. हम price के respect में homotheticity को study करते ही नहीं हैं. Okay? So now I will see you in the next video. Thank you.